let's first go to JD from the perspective of a husband supporting a wife, your wife. Okay, were you always on board? And what, like when she started, and what ways do you support your wife in her business?
So no, like when Micah first started, so I was in my second year of veterinary school. We were in Oklahoma, completely away from family. She was already busy. She was running a photography business at the time. And so when she told me that she was signing up, like that was the last thing I thought we needed was one more iron in the fire. And so no, like I was not supportive at first. And it wasn't until, I can't remember if it, like we went on a Success Club trip or we went to a Super Saturday, because at the time we were living in Oklahoma, and down to Dallas where, watching one of these, the Super Saturday videos, but it wasn't until like I saw, we were just talking about this on the way over this morning, I think even like the name BODi, like I didn't know anything more about the company, it just seemed shallow to me. And so until we went to an event and like you saw the bigger mission of the company and like even corporate, what they stand for, at that point, like that's when I started to just get on board, be supportive, and she would even bring me along or include me in on personal development. And I think it was like John Maxwell's the 15 invaluable laws of growth. Is that what it is? Yeah. And so I think it was a gift that we got for Micah earning success, but she gradually just brought me in on the workouts, the personal development, and it didn't. I feel like once she was involving me in on all that stuff, it didn't take me long to get on board and be involved. And another thing, like when Micah decides to do something, it wasn't like she was never like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like she was all in. Like I could see, like enough months had gone by, like I could see how important and how fulfilled this made her. And so yeah, with all of that coming together, that I mean, it was easy for me to get on board and be supportive.
That's awesome. Woo! Woo! And just give us some perspective, because I know that you do support a lot from behind the scenes. Tell us a few things maybe that you do business-wise to support. I mean, because you have also created something recently together. Maybe just touch on that and how this vehicle has been really awesome for you and your business too.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I guess the ways that I'm supportive, like I work out with Micah, like I show up, like I do not, like I'm not big on social media, like I don't really post much at all, but I work out with her, like I'll be in the videos, I will be in the pictures. She's very good, like any events like this, like we plan 6 months in advance, like I know it's on the calendar, like, and so it's easy for me to set time aside, like we put that on the calendar, I plan on being at them. It's interesting, I see like there's a couple husbands here with little kids. This leadership that we just went to was the first time I think I've ever gone to an event that we did. I didn't have like a baby as pastor. And so, yeah, we have 5 kids, and so I don't know. It's worth it. I just want just support. I mean, if it's something that lights up your wife, I mean, it's worth doing that. Come into the events, put it on your calendar. Yeah, I mean, it's worth it. And the thing that, so like I run my own vet practice now. I never would have been able to, because of what BODi did, like I was able to basically leave the job. Like when we came back to Idaho, it was for a job that was in Rigby, Idaho. But after 1 year there, basically financially we were in a spot where it was okay if, basically I could take time to build a business. And so that allowed me to build my practice. It's now me, we have 2 other veterinarians, I mean, whole staff, we just moved into a new building. And then it's basically given us an opportunity to provide, I mean, meaningful jobs for other people too. Like, so we're just in the process of starting like a farm to table beef business, and yeah, so I mean, part of that we're running out of this new building but it's providing us an opportunity to again provide another job for well, hopefully Mike's brother. And so it's just been like it's opened up opportunities for us to give back and do things for other people that I'm not sure we ever would have been able to do. And so it's just been, yeah, it's been an awesome journey.
That's so cool. Woo! Yay! That's awesome. Okay, Scotty, tell us a little bit about your flow as a guy working the business. And I know that you shared from your experience last Super Saturday.
Yeah.
Just give us a little bit of your background and how you made a shift, and how BODi has blessed you as a husband providing for your family.
Okay, so since we have like 20 minutes for all of us, I'll try to do this quickly. For me, I was hesitant to become a coach in the beginning. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I fell in love with the programs. I lost 38 pounds with P90X, and eating healthier, stopped drinking Monster and Rockstar energy drinks to make it through my 12-hour shifts. So I love the shift to the clean energy and talking more clearly about that. I found out about coaching and I was like, that's not for me. I don't do the social media thing. I'm introverted. It's not something that I could ever do. I kind of saw myself like that. But I was naturally trying to provide a better life for my family. I had big goals and dreams I could write on a piece of paper. This is before BODi. I want to retire by the time I'm 50, pay my house off, and have $1 million in the bank and just be in the outdoors. So I had big dreams and I was willing to work for them. So working 12-hour days, my wife was working. I started like a sign business because I worked in a steel factory. I was buying and selling things on Craigslist. Just I had a little savings account and these little side businesses I did. I put money in there. So when the time came when I was like, I probably could do this coaching thing. And we had our 3rd daughter and had troubles paying those doctor bills. I jumped in. And so, long story short, for me, what's the flow? It was making the decision, having a goal and a dream and a vision, and then going all in. I wasn't like, I'm gonna see if this works, I'm gonna try this thing out. I was like, no, I'm going to build a business. The programs work, they changed my life. I'm gonna help change other people's lives with it. And I'm gonna earn, and I set specific amounts so that my wife can come home from work, and that's it. And I'm gonna figure it out and make it happen. It was not like, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. If it takes longer than I thought, it's not for me. It was like, I'm gonna do this. So that's my flow. And as far as for the guys out there, the top coaches, the first top coach ever was the first year I was a coach, which was my coach Lindsay. So there was no thing in my mind of guys can't do this, it's a girl-dominated business. It had always been male top coaches until the year I signed up. And so I saw them, and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it too.
That's awesome. One piggyback question. I'm sure you mentor guy coaches. What would you say to some of us who maybe don't do that as frequently? Do you feel like there's a way to help them kind of relate to the business that has been helpful? Any advice or
Yeah, I think it's kind of a hard question to weigh. I think people overthink this. We're all humans, guys and the women, and women and men both have goals and dreams. And maybe it's because I only had 2 sisters growing up, and my first 3 kids were daughters. I could, connect to the women as well as the men. But for me, I just look at it as we're all the same. I'm not the guy that's like, you're a dude, you gotta do this, because I'm not that person naturally. I'm very soft-spoken and like to listen to people and understand them. So I don't really speak to Chris any different than I speak to Lacey or to Shaylee. We're just all humans. And we all have the same capability to grow and use our gifts and talents. So there's no real secret there. I think a lot of times we overthink that.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. I do think that sometimes we do overthink and get a little nervous when we're out of our comfort zone.
I know it's not the answer you wanted.
No, that's great. That's great. Okay, Chris, let's hear from you for a minute. And I'm finding a question. Does anyone have a question for Chris? You do work the business. You stood up, you're a diving coach. Share it with people. Any questions for Chris, or should I pick one?
I've got one.
Okay.
So you're the one who started as a challenger first in your household. How did you introduce, and obviously you were successful at introducing it, not because you saw results, which was also fantastic, but he said this so casually. His wife is also on track to win the BODi Challenge this year. So not only did you have life-changing results, but you rippled it. So you didn't present it to your family in a, I'm restricted, dad's doing a diet, you guys are gonna eat different food than me. Clearly you made some sort of change that is generationally impacting your family. How did you introduce it to your family?
Like Scotty, it's a really simple answer. Just be. Just be. I'm trying to save my life, trying to lose weight, actually, no, scratch that, trying to be healthier. It was losing weight, but it actually came from healing emotionally and spiritually. Seeking first the kingdom, if you like, and everything else was added on to me. Healed in here, everything else changed. I relate things either to sporting analogies or church ones. I have never once argued someone into accepting Jesus using stats or miracles or telling none of that. I just am who I am, where I am. People can't deny that. There might be like initial resistance, especially if they know you, and especially if they're family. Don't try and cajole them. Don't try and win them round. Just be. They'll see the transformation. Your life will preach to them, and then they'll receive it in their heart for themselves. It's really as simple as that. Not just for you, anyone. But proof the product works, if you like. If you want to use, the beach body speak, sorry, but again, just be, and you'll change people's lives. So, one thing as well, which I think I knew from the start of my journey, and it's credit to Scotty, the way he taught me and coached me. To me, coaching within the business and having a transformation are inextricably linked. Another word of the day? Inextricably linked. And it's really based on like the sowing and reaping principle. Like if you just take, then you spiritually gluttonous. You're not sowing out. You're not providing for other people. If you're sowing out kind words to people, encouragement, whatever, helping people have their transformations, that empowered me to have my transformation. So don't be tempted to, I'm working out and having a transformation, that's there, and coaching in the business is over here. To me, in a very real sense, they're like that, sowing and reaping.
Thank you. Any questions burning on your heart for Jake? Otherwise, I have one. From a corporate perspective, as he's behind the scenes, well, not really behind in a lot of ways, but we don't hear from corporate as much. So, any questions you may have? If not, I will ask. Oh, go for it.
So we're going forward with the mental aspect of that. How will it affect classroom? how's it gonna affect the Beachbody Classic? There's actually internal discussions on that right now, so I can't give you like an official answer as to what that is, where that's landed. But a lot of the competitive aspect, they're trying to look at what's the best way to make this the feel good and on the competitive side of it. So there's good things that they call it classic drives, but there's also feeding into what Beachbody kind of is presumed as. So that's just happening right now. I can't tell you where it's officially landed.
Good question. I think we'll use this question to wrap up. I just want to hear from you. How has your life changed through partnering with Beachbody? You've probably had work experience prior. You might give us some feedback for being close. Tell us just how your life has been impacted by the mission, the company, the products, the everything that you've kind of immersed in with this experience.
Awesome. First, shout out to Chris for being the only one that kept his hair so far. So it's harder than you think. So this actually is super transformative in my sense too. What coaches don't often realize is your jobs, like what you guys do, is my livelihood. So I am tied to this as much as you are. My wife, who's actually here for her first event, by the way, with my 2 kids, shout out. So she is a stay-at-home mother, and so our livelihood is Beachbody. And so whenever there's changes like this happening, there's a lot of the times coaches come to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the world is ending," and I'm like, "I'm still here. Am I not? Like, my livelihood is your livelihood. We're tied to the same mission." So how has this been transformative for me? I've been in network marketing now for 12 plus years. I stand by this, okay? Like, I stand by Beachbody. I will, no matter what, if I move on in my career and it happens to be with another company, I would still be a Beachbody customer. I actually interviewed with a company last year, and I was like, forewarning, if you do hire me, I will be a customer at Beachbody because I will have their, I swear by it. And they were like, okay, thanks for letting us know. But that's how important and impactful it's been on me, is this is my life. And honestly, the pandemic changed a lot too. I was working out at work at lunch break with all of our friends, and it was fun. And then when the pandemic hit, it was like, oh man, I hated working out in front of my family. Like, I always felt so awkward if my wife came down. To the point where my mother-in-law has stayed with us, and she came down when I was doing Let's Get Up. Now, if you want to talk about doing Let's Get Up in front of your mother-in-law. And you know what? Andrea says it, I full send. Like, I was all in. And that's where it's gotten to. It's built my confidence, it's built our family's livelihood, and it's been a mission, a statement, it's a vision that I stand by 100%. So that's why when I come to these events, I love what Beachbody represents. And I love that when I come to Salt Lake City, when I go to Toronto, when I go to Montreal. So I cover Canada, that's why I'm using those as reference. But whenever I go north, it's the exact same thing. You find people connected in the same mission, the same vision. And that's why I love what Carl was talking about today. This is as simple as just inviting people to join you. If you're somebody new, you don't have to have transformation before you can be successful in this business. All it takes is saying, hey, I found something that lights my soul on fire. Do you want to do it with me? That's all it takes. And when they start to light their soul on fire, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to somebody else and be like, I found something that completely changed who I am. You should try this with me. I'm in the midst of it. Do you want to do this with me? That's as simple as coaching is. We often complicate it by what's your script that you use for inviting, or what's this. You don't have to worry about that stuff. It's as simple as saying, I found something that is life-changing. Do you want to do it with me? And when you're genuinely passionate, I stand by this. This could be gospel by Jake. But when you look at what people want on social media, they want to live passionately. They want to live with energy. They want to wake up with a smile on their face. If you can show them how to do that, They will be attracted to you, and they will want to do this with you because why? You're waking up with a smile on your face. You're living with that same passion and energy. And when you embody it, that's exactly what Chris was saying, right? When you embody it, that's when people might resist at first. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I watched you a little bit and you're getting amazing results, but it's your countenance, it's who you are is changing. What are you doing? That's what's the most important. So don't be afraid to invite. Don't be afraid to go out and talk to people. Don't be afraid to be that soft-spoken Scotty Hobbs that's just like, do you want to do this with me? I see an opportunity. And I genuinely believe when you're just a good human, people will join you. And when you just connect with people, that's all it's about. So that was a lot just to say that this has transformed my life, and I'm tied to exactly what you guys are. So we're here for it, we're living it, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of a Saturday to be here with us and to say, you know what, we've got bigger things to do. Now let's go do them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. We sure appreciate your wisdom, and we're just gonna take that, bottle it up, and without further ado, we'll have you guys go out this door. We're gonna get the workout queued up with the music and everything, and you can do a little bathroom break.